Very good morning. In today's video lecture, we can able to see the radiation from a half wave or dipole antenna, or otherwise it is called as lambda by 2 antenna. In the last class, we were discussing about asymptotic current distribution of a dipole antenna. So there you have got the equation, or we have derived the equation for the current, that is nothing but I equal to Im sin beta into h minus z for z greater than 0, and I equal to Im into sin beta h plus z for z less than 0. So we will utilize that asymptotic current distribution for deriving the radiation resistance of a half wave dipole antenna. Okay. So by the name itself, it is very clear that half wave in the sense means I can call this half wave dipole antenna as half wavelength dipole, or simply I can call this as half wave dipole. I will write that one. We will call it as half wavelength dipole. Sorry. The first point is half wavelength dipole. This half wave dipole antenna can also called as half wavelength dipole, or simply half wave dipole. Simply we can call it as half wave dipole, or otherwise called as lambda by 2 dipole, called as lambda by 2 antenna, dipole antenna. Okay, so it is one of the simplest antenna in the antenna theory, and is widely utilized as a single element, or can be utilized as a part of more complex antenna. For example, a more complex antenna in the sense means I am considering about the antenna array. For example, I can make an antenna array by using this half wave dipole antenna. So if we are utilizing more half wave dipole antenna as a combination, this becomes that the complete antenna becomes more complex cases. In that case, the lambda by 2 can be utilized as a single element, or as a number of element that is being clubbed together. So that is why I can call this as that means this can be utilized as a symbol, or as frequently employed as an element, or can be a part of more complex system, directional system. Okay, that second point I will write. That is, this is the first point I want to do. The second point is one of the simplest antenna. One of the simplest antenna, and is frequently employed as an element, that is as a single element of a more complex directional system. That example, that is nothing but our antenna array. Example is nothing but antenna array. Okay, so why I discuss this means in the next module we have been discussing something regarding the antenna array. So you should have a knowledge of this half wave dipole antenna. Okay, the current that is being flowing through the dipole antenna, the total power that is being radiated by the dipole antenna, similarly the radiation resistance of the dipole antenna. This knowledge you should know while we are deriving the antenna, while we are taking the radiation pattern of the antenna array in the third module. So this is a basic thing for the continuation of the next module, that is the something regarding the antenna array. Okay, so the definition is nothing but a lambda by 2 antenna is fundamentally, I will give an example for that one, that is the radio antenna that you are being normally utilizing, that is a simple metal rod or a tubing wire that you have been seen in the radio. If you have the radio in your home, they will have some a small tube like antenna, and that antenna we can call this as a lambda by 2 dipole antenna, whose physical length is half the wavelength in free space at the frequency of operation. That is very important. Okay, the antenna that is being utilized in the radio, that is nothing but a metal rod or a tubing or a tube. It is similar to that of a tube, or it can be called as thin wire, whose physical length is half the wavelength in free space at the frequency of operation. At the frequency of the, because that is the radio frequency that you have to keep in mind. At that frequency of operation, the length of that tubing wire or length of that metal rod will be half the wavelength in free space. Okay, so that also I will write here. That is the basic definition for that. That is a basic definition based upon the simple example. Okay, so a lambda by 2 antenna, a lambda by 2 antenna is a fundamental radio antenna antenna of metal rod or what I call as tubing, a tubing or tube, or you can call it as thin wire, okay, which has a physical length or the length of that wire, what I call as length of half the wavelength in free space. Half wavelength in free space. One point I also indicated, at the frequency of operation. Half wavelength in free space. At the frequency of operation. Okay, that is nothing but the half-wave dipole. That is the general half-wave dipole antenna what we have seen. Okay, a lambda by 2 dipole antenna is a fundamental radio antenna. That is an example for you of metal rod that you have been normally seeing for the radio, or tubing or a thin wire, whose physical length is half the wavelength in free space at the frequency of operation. So this lambda by 2 dipole antenna can be also called as Hertz antenna, or sometimes also called as half wave doublet. Okay, this can be called as Hertz antenna, or sometimes called as half wave doublet. Okay, both the dipole and doublet means the same. Okay, as long as electrical dimension of two are the same. So doublet or the dipole, if you are taking the doublet, the meaning for the doublet or the dipole is same as far as electrical dimension of the two are the same. If you are taking the electrical dimension of both the dipole and doublet, both are In that manner, the word meaning for both doublet and double dipole is the same. So we can define a dipole antenna. In general, we can define the dipole antenna as a dipole antenna may be defined as what you call as a symmetrical antenna. That is the definition. Dipole antenna can be defined as a symmetrical antenna symmetrical antenna in which the two end in which the two ends you have two ends are at equal potential. That is very important. Are at equal potential relative to the midpoint. Relative to midpoint. That is the thing that we have discussed in the last video lecture. That is in case of deriving the asymptotic current distribution, we are taking the center point as set or 0, and from that the upper portion as well as lower portion, the two ends will have equal potential. That is, one is at z equal to plus h, other is nothing but the z is equal to minus h. That means in general we can define the dipole antenna as a symmetrical antenna in which the two ends are at equal potential relative to midpoint. Okay. Now we have to calculate the radiation field of a half-wave dipole antenna. We have to come across the radiation field of a half-wave dipole antenna. Okay. Radiation field of a half-wave dipole antenna. For that purpose, I had to draw one figure to calculate. We have to calculate. To calculate what we have to calculate? The radiation field of a half-wave dipole antenna, of a half-wave dipole. So, okay, you can, for that purpose I will just draw one figure indicating the current as well as the small current element. Okay. That is a sinusoidal current distribution that is being fed at the center of the dipole antenna. Okay. So I will draw this one. I will take this as a center point. Okay. This is the thing. Okay. Similarly, in the lower section, okay. So this point I will take it as z equal to 0. The current distribution will be the what you call as that you have already seen in the asymptotic current distribution. Okay. This thing I can call this as Im into sine beta into h plus z. Here is z equal to minus h. This one is nothing but z equal to plus h. Okay, this one will be, this point will be Im sine beta h minus z. Okay, sorry, h minus z. And what I will do, you will have the length, this length, I can consider this length as h. Okay, and from here to here I'll consider this as again h. The total length from here to here is nothing but, I will take it as L, that is from here to here, L, which is nothing but 2 into h. Okay, now what I will do is I will consider a small section, that is here dz. Okay, a small area I will take here. Okay, this I will call this as, here there will be current distribution like this, there also like this. Okay, so 1 minute, from here to here, so small mistake. Okay, and this one I will take it as dz, and from here to here I will take it as a set. I will take it as set. Okay, so this is the figure for calculating the radiation field of a half-wave dipole antenna. So what I had done is the length from the total length is from L equal to h plus h, that is nothing but 2h. I taken a small area, that is dz. This will be radiating at a further point, that is at a P. Okay, I will take this from here, it will radiate into a further distance somewhere point P from the center also. I will here the 2 point. Okay, so this is a point, I will call this as a point P. This is a distant point, so this is nothing but, I call this as an R, and this I will take it as R, or as in some book it is indicated as R or capital S. This I calculate as a normal over R, radial distance R. Okay, so this is nothing but this angle called as theta. So this I can write it as R equal to, so that is at the further point P, both R and R, that can be taken as same only. Okay, so that in general I can write this as R equal to small r minus z cos theta. Okay, this is the figure that I had to discuss you for calculating the radiation field at a further point. that is the P, that the further point P from a small area in the dipole antenna. That means I had taken only a small section. That section is nothing but D set. That D set combined, you will get the set. If you are counting that completely, then only you will get. So I have taken a small area in the halfway dipole antenna. That is nothing but the D set. Okay. If you want a set, okay. Otherwise, I will write. Anyway, it's okay. No change. So the dipole is this is something regarding. If I can write the figure, I can give the name for this figure. Sorry. The name for this figure, that is sinusoidal current distribution. Does this figure indicate sinusoidal current distribution assumed in center fed dipole antenna. Center fed dipole antenna. Okay. 1 minute. Center fed dipole antenna. So the dipole is usually fed at the center, having maximum current, that is having maximum current at the center, that is maximum radiation in the plane normal to the axis. Okay. The overall specified length, what we have indicated here, is nothing but L equal to 2h, and the vertical antenna of height L equal to 2h means L by 2 will be h equal to L by 2, fed again say infinitely large perfectly conducting plane having the same characteristic above the plane as does the dipole antenna of length L equal to 2h in free space. Okay. So the field will be originated due to current element, that is the current element. I can call this as current element as I into dz. Because of that current element I into dz, there will be generation of the field, and it appears to originate from at an image element situated below the plane after the reflection from the plane. However, the impedance of a vertical fed antenna, the reflecting plane is just half to the dipole of length L equal to 2h. Okay. So what happens means the current element I into dz, in that current element already that we have discussed in the previous short dipole and also while we are discussing the radiation resistance of short dipole antenna, that current element is only generating the field at a further point P. Okay. So that is being discussed here. That is I will just write that here. The dipole antenna is being fed. I will write here. Dipole antenna is fed at the center having maximum current, that is maximum radiation. Maximum current in the sense that is maximum radiation in the plane normal to the axis. In the plane, in the plane normal to the axis. Okay. the overall specified length is the overall specified length is L equal to 2h. Okay, and the vertical antenna of height L by 2 and vertical antenna of height L by 2 equal to h. Okay, that is being fed against an infinitely large perfectly conducting plane. Perfectly what are called as conducting plane. Okay. So next point what I had to discuss is the field that is being or will be originating at the what you call as from where, by the current element I into dz. Okay, that is the from here itself I will write the next point. The field originated what you call as originate due to a current element, I into dz. Okay, the field will be originate due to a current element. Okay, so that is correct. I think this is clear for you. That means what I indicated here, that is the dipole antenna is being fed at the center having the maximum current, that is maximum radiation in the plane normal to the axis, and again the overall specified length is L equal to 2h and vertical antenna of height L by 2 equal to h fed against infinitely large perfectly conducting plane, and the field will originate due to current element I into dz. I is nothing but the current that is being flowing through the dipole antenna. Okay, since the current is assumed to be sinusoidal, is asymptotic, distributed, and we have discussed in the previous class, that is in the previous class we had discussed the current that is being flowing in through the asymptotic current that is being flowing through the dipole antenna. So that I will write what since current is assumed sinusoidal asymptotic is called sinusoidal asymptotic, asymptotically distributed, as shown in the above figure. The last class we had discussed that equation, that is we have the current equation for the current I is given by Im sin beta h minus z for z greater than 0, and I equal to Im sin beta into h plus z for z less than 0. Okay, this is the two equation that I have to write here. I will call this as equation somewhat 1 or 2. Equation 1a and 1a and 1b. I call like this, equation 1a and 1b. Okay, so here I can write Im. This equation already you know how we have calculated, how we have derive this equation. Im is the current maximum current or current maximum at the current loop, okay. So now we have to see the vector potential at a distance point, that is the that point we normally are taking as a set vector potential at a distance p due to the current element I into, that is the potential that is being produced at the distance point p. That already we have discussed how we have been calculating the a set, and all those things. You just refer the things what I have discussed you in the initial case when I have been explained something regarding the field distribution in the current element. Okay, there I have discussed here. Okay, so now the vector potential at a distance point p due to current element I into d set is given by what? dA set can be written as mu I d set e raised to minus j beta into r, that is at a distance point. At the further point p, that is the field that is being produced at the further point p, that is given by dA set, that is the vector potential at a distance point p due to current element I into d set. Okay, so that is given by mu I d set e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi into r, 4 pi by r. Okay, where r is the distance, I can write that, where r is nothing but distance between, that already you know, that I have indicated in the figure, distance between I d set to distant point. So the total vector potential due to all such current elements at a distance point p is given by, I will write that one. This is only the vector potential that is being produced at the distance point p. Now we have to calculate the total vector potential that is being produced at the distance point p. Okay. Sorry. That is nothing but total vector potential. This is nothing but the vector potential that is being produced at the distance point p due to current element I into d set, that is given by dA set is nothing but mu I d set e raised to minus j beta r by 4 pi r. Similarly, we have to calculate the total vector potential, the total vector potential due to all such current element, elements at a elements, I will call this elements at a distance point, p is given by what? That is integral I d a set or dou a set can be written as, that is from vector potential from all such point. Here I have taken only a single point I into d set, single current element. So we have to calculate all such point. In small point it is nothing but a current element I into d set, it will produce a vector potential mu I dz e raised to minus j z j minus j beta r by 4 pi r. Similarly, you have from z is equal to minus h to plus h. So we have to consider from z is equal to minus h to 0. Similarly, from 0 to plus h. So that indication I have to give, that is integral minus h to 0 mu I dz e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi into r plus integral 0 to plus h mu I dz e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi r. This is the total vector potential that is being produced at a distance point P. Okay. So what I will do is I will I can take this I. It's not a set. I can take it as mu by 4 pi. I can take outside. I is nothing but Im sin sin beta into h plus z and sin beta into h minus z, or okay, like that I had taken this one. So I can write az. In general, I can write it as az. 1 minute, small, if any mistake is there or not. So okay, dz c minus h to mu I dz e raised to minus j beta r by 4 pi r 0 to, I think it is clear. E raised to minus j beta. Okay. Any mistake? No. Okay. Let me proceed with this one. So I can write az is nothing but, in general, I can write az here equal to, I will take mu by 4 pi outside, mu by 4 pi integral minus h to 0. I can write I as Im sin beta h plus z, that is the current that is being flowing to that 2 section, h plus z e raised to minus j beta r divided by r plus, sorry, one more thing is that into dz is this one, into dz. Here also dz is this one. So into dz plus integral 0 to plus h. Here also, sorry, mu by 4 pi I have to take outside. I will take mu by 4 pi from here also, mu by 4 pi integral my 0 to plus h Im sin beta h minus z by r into e raised to minus j beta r dz. Okay. So this is one of the important equation we have to keep in mind for the potential. Okay, I will just make it is in the box. Okay. Sometimes they may ask some problems with sometimes this equation, so that is why I am indicating with the box. So call this as equation number 2, something like that, 1a 1b. We call this as equation d is that I will call this equation 2 this for the equation 2, this I will call just 3. Okay. So since at the distance point P, you can see that at the distance point P only you will get the radial fields that is being produced by the small current element. Since the distant point P is at a large distance where the field are needed, so the lines to the point P is assumed to be parallel. That is why I indicated two lines. Okay, so that I write here, since the distance point P is at a large distance where the fields are needed, so the lines to the point, to the point P, be assumed to be parallel. Be assumed to be parallel. This is the thing what I have indicated in that figure. Okay, so I can write R is nothing but R minus some point I can call that is R minus Z cos theta. Or in general I can call R is nearly equal to small r. Okay, if what you call as P is at a large point, where P is at a large point, where P is at a large point. Where P is at a large point. Okay. So you just keep in mind the denominator R here in the Im sin beta h plus set in e raised to minus j beta R by R is there. That is the denominator both the section of A set, that is equation 3. The denominator you are having the capital R. So that capital R may be replaced by small r now. But the numerator R, that is where it is, that is in with the e raised to minus j beta into R. That R is involved in phase. Okay, so that cannot be replaced by small r. Okay, phase factor, and hence the difference between R and R is very important. Capital R and small r is very important. What I am meaning the meaning what I am discussing here is that in the equation 3, that is for the A set, you are having the denominator capital R. That capital R can be now replaced by small r. But keep in mind, in the numerator you are having the term e raised to minus j beta into R. That is in e raised to minus j beta into R also you are having one capital R. That capital R is being included in the what you call as the phase factor, and hence that R cannot be replaced by small r. So that difference between the capital R and small r is very important in this factor. Okay, so just I will do is I will just replace that what you call as our or I will modify our equations what you call as equation 3 by putting this equation. Okay, that is 3, this 2 I can take it as equation 4. Okay, so now the equation 3 will be now reduced to, that is substituting equation 4. Now equation 3 reduced to a set equal to mu by 4 pi integral minus h to 0 so 0 Im sin beta h plus z divided by small r into e raised to minus j beta. This I will change it as r minus z cos theta into dz plus mu by 4 pi integral 0 to plus h Im e raised to minus j beta, okay, Im sin beta into h minus z divided by r into e raised to minus j beta into r minus z cos theta into dz. Okay, so this is the equation, modified equation. When I am including that equation 4 in equation 3, you will get the modified equation. Okay, the equation 3 can be reduced to this in this form, or modified. It cannot be reduced, it's modified in this form. Okay, so I will take mu by 4 pi mu by 4 pi r into Im into e raised to minus j beta, because this I can split. I am skipping one step here. What I will do is I can write e raised to like this, e raised to minus j beta into r minus z cos theta. It is common for both the case. What I will do is this thing, 1 minute, j beta this thing, what I will do is I will split like this. You can see I can write e raised to minus j beta into r minus z cos theta as e raised to minus j beta r into e raised to minus and minus, it will be plus j beta z cos theta. Okay, no problem. So what happens, cos theta dz, that is e raised to j bz cos theta, that is the term with respect to z. So I will keep that as that itself in say in the integral part. The common part is nothing but e raised to minus j beta, that I will take outside. Okay, so one step I am skipping here. I will write a set, because I will replace e raised to minus j beta into r minus z cos theta as e raised to minus j beta r into e raised to j beta set into cos theta, and taking e raised to minus j beta r outside, and I will keep only e raised to j beta set into cos theta inside the integral part. Okay, since it is with respect to z, that is not a constant term. E raised to j minus j beta r is only the constant term. So I will take a set outside, which is nothing but mu by 4 pi into r. Okay, numerator it will be Im e raised to minus j beta r. Now it's clear. Both the term it is having the common term, integral minus h to 0. Now sin beta h plus z e raised to plus j beta z cos theta into dz plus integral 0 to plus h sine beta h minus z e raised to plus j beta z cos theta dz. Okay, this is a term mu im e raised to minus j beta r 4 pi r e integral minus h to 0 sin beta h plus z e raised to plus j beta z into cos theta into dz plus integral 0 to plus h sin beta of h minus z into e raised to plus j beta z into cos theta into dz. Okay, since you are for a given lambda by 2 dipole antenna, you have given what you call as L, that is for lambda by 2 dipole antenna. L is given by L equal to 2h. Okay, that already is there in the figure, so that I will write this L equal to 2h. In the sense I can write this as 1 minute. Okay, L equal to 2h, that I can rewrite it as L equal to 2h equal to lambda by 2. Okay, that is for lambda by 2 antenna. So I can write h equal to lambda by 4, which is nothing but pi by 2. Okay, in general I can write it as lambda by 4. Okay, so I can write it as sine, I can write it as sine, sorry, sine beta of h plus z equal to sine beta of h minus z. So what I can write as this term, sine beta of h is nothing but pi by 2 plus z equal sine beta of pi by 2 minus z. So in both the cases it is nothing but cos beta z. Okay, so sine beta h plus z and sine beta h minus z I will now replace by cos beta z. Okay, hence your equation changes to hence az equal mu im e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi r into integral minus h to 0 cos beta z e raised to plus j beta z cos theta dz plus integral 0 to h plus h cos beta z e raised to plus j beta z cos theta dz. Okay, so I can change this since the integration, that is invertible, integration order is inverse. I can change this as az can be written as mu im e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi r into integral 0 to h cos beta z. Okay, in the bracket I write it as e raised to the first term beta z cos theta plus e raised to minus j beta z cos theta. into dz. Okay, since the integration has been what you call as reversed. So this in term I can consider as what you call as this term, that is e raised to minus j beta set cos theta plus e raised to minus j beta set cos theta, can be written as what you call as 2 cos of beta set into cos theta. Okay, so I'll write a set mu im e raised to minus j beta r divided by 4 pi r into integral 0 to h cos beta set, the inside the bracket I will write as 2 cos of beta set cos theta, 2 cos theta. Okay, that is e raised to j beta set cos theta plus e raised to minus j beta set cos theta is nothing but 2 cos theta. So that is nothing but 2 into cos theta is nothing but beta set cos theta, beta set cos theta into dz. It's not into dz. I think this is clear. Okay. I will just stop here. I will just continue with this in the next session. Okay. I will just see whether is there any mistake I had created in the derived equation after watching the video by my after watching my own video. Just see if there is any mistake, because if we continue further like this, sometimes there may arise a mistake. So I will just watch it whether there is any mistake or something like that, and I will proceed with the continuation of this video in the next session. Okay, thank you.